Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little bit of baking and we're going to talk about the narcissistic cake and why their personality is baked into them. So play along with me for a minute because I assure you there's a point to this. So let's make a cake. What are you going to need? Ingredients, right? You're going to put some ingredients together. You're going to put it in the oven and out is going to come a cake. So what might you need? I've got a list here. We're going to make a fancy cake from scratch. So we're going to need some flour. Put the flour in the bowl. Some baking powder. Some baking soda. Salt. Milk. Some kind of oil, whatever your preference is. Throw some eggs in there. Vanilla extract. And I'm going to add a little bit of extra vanilla extract because it adds so much flavor. And because I'm a fan of chocolate cake, we're going to go that way. And we're going to put some cocoa powder in there and some espresso powder. So we're going to mix it together really nicely, not too much, so just so it's the right consistency. Pour it in our cake pan. Going to preheat our oven to 350. And then when it's ready, beep, it's time to go. Put it in there. We're going to bake our cake. So after it's been in there 30, 35 minutes, and you can put the toothpick in, bring it out so it's not wet, you got your cake. So obviously that's a pretty skimmed down way to do it. It's a lot more time consuming and involved than what I'm describing. But now I've decided after we have this beautiful chocolate cake that I want to take some of the ingredients out. So it's baked, it's on the table, but I want to go back in and I've decided I don't want the sugar in there anymore. So I'm going to take the sugar out. I don't want the flour in there anymore. I guess I don't really. I think I put one too many eggs in there. I'm going to take the egg back out of my cooked cake, my baked cake, okay? I definitely, even though I love cocoa powder and stuff, I put in a little too much cocoa powder, I think. So I'm going to go there and take some of the cocoa powder out of the cake. Does that sound all right? So let's do it. Let's go in and take some of those ingredients out of our cake. You ever tried to do that? Can you imagine baking a cake and then later, after it's cooked, after it's baked, it's come out, and you decided, I don't like the things I put in, or I know I added too much, and I want to extract some of those things from it? Imagine the impossibility of doing that. We all know you can't go in after a cake is baked, after it's been mixed and put in the oven and it's all solidified together. It's all one unit. You're going to go in there and take anything out. It's impossible. You can destroy it, you can turn it into crumbles, right? But you can't take a single ingredient out of that cake now that it's been baked, can you? What you see is what you now get. There's no going back. Well, let's talk about the narcissist because the narcissist is just like this. What is the ingredients in a narcissist? Let's make one right here from scratch like we did our cake. Let's take some malice. Yeah, I've got all my ingredients written down here. Let's take some malice, put it in there, and I'm going to put it in the bowl. Let's take some rebelliousness, a little Lilith, a little Lilith personality, a little spirit of Lilith, Jezebel. Let's put some rebelliousness in there. Let's take some good old-fashioned hatred. Let's throw that in the bowl. Let's put some insatiability, meaning nothing's ever good enough, can't be satisfied, absolutely nothing would ever suffice. Let's throw insatiability in there. A couple scoops of that. Let's put a heaping scoop of jealousy in the bowl. Envy, jealousy. How about this? Let's put some perversion in the bowl. Don't need a lot. A little perversion goes a long way. So just maybe a teaspoon. Let's put some greed in there because you got to have your money and you want what everybody else has, right? Got to put that in there. How about just good old-fashioned foolishness? Can't make a good decision. Might be able to do a lot of things, but cannot make decent, sound, lasting decisions. Let's throw a bunch of foolishness in there. Let's throw the ability to blow everything up right out of the gate or for no reason at all and go on to something that's absurd. Let's throw some foolishness. Lastly, let's throw some insecurity in. some really deep-seated insecurity to the point where you're going to project that on everybody else. And you're going to make yourself seem grand and great and wonderful because you're so deeply insecure. Definitely got to put that in there. So what we got? We got malice, rebelliousness, hatred, insatiability. Oh, I forgot one. Forgot one. Let's throw some serious instability into the bowl. Nothing can ever be normal, can ever be even. It's gotta be like this. It has to be. It's gotta thrive on chaos and instability. Let's throw instability in there. So now we got that. We got malice, rebelliousness, hatred, instability, jealousy, perversion, insatiability, greed, foolishness, and insecurity. I think that's a pretty good set of ingredients. Let's mix all those things around. Put it in our baking dish, put it in the oven. Ching, it's done. Pull it out. You've got your narcissist. You've got a deluxe mess on your hands, right? Well, you remember the cake that we made where you can't go in and take the salt out? You can't go in and take the flour out, the eggs, or the cocoa powder, or vanilla extract, or anything else. Do you know what? You can't take those things out of the narcissist. They are who they are. Just as all of those ingredients from the cake have been baked into the cake, all the things I mentioned have been baked into the narcissist. You're not going to get a single one of those out of them. You're not going to see the narcissist go to therapy, probably at all. If they do, it's just to cause you more disturbance or to pretend that they're going to try to get it right so that you hang on another few months or a few years or 10 years. You might have them do that, but you're not going to send them to counseling and have any of these things removed. They're not going to be less hateful, rebellious. They're not going to be less insatiable. I don't care if they have a bazillion gajillion hours of therapy. You're not going to see much, but probably no improvement. So, what I'm going to say very simply is their personality is baked into them. A lot of us think that we're somehow going to change the narcissist. And this is something I've heard a lot recently, and I used to feel this way. I would pray and I would think, God, please change this person. Lead this person to the light. Perform a powerful work, a transformative work in their lives, that they are not the way they are, or that they just improve. Can they just improve some? See, right now the relationship is me giving this and her giving this. Can we do something to at least balance this out a little bit? Can we get to here? Can we get to 80-20, 75-25? I wasn't even asking for this. We're way past that, right? And we pray and we tell ourselves the more we give, the longer we stay in it, the more we pray, the kinder we are, the more loving and understanding and compassionate, the better romantic partner we are, the better everything we do. This person is going to change. At minimum, they're going to get it a little more right. Maybe it's a gradual process. They become a little more soft, little less rough around the edges. Man, something will change. And you know what else we tell ourselves? And guys, for those of you who are believers who watch this channel, you're going to know what I'm saying because I hear it all the time. God can change the narcissist. Pray for the narcissist. Pray for them. Pray for them. God can change the narcissist. Murray. Sorry, my dog's over there going crazy there. We can change the narcissist. God can do it. If not us, no, God can. You know what? God can change the narcissist in a matter of speaking. Yes, God has the power. He's transformed us, right? If you come to Christ, you give your life to Him, you truly are filled with the Spirit, you know God, you're born again, you're born of the Spirit. Yeah, you're changed. You're a new creation. You can be transformed. No doubt, God does it. Only God can do such a thing. But here's the problem. Here's one little catch involved in this. The narcissist doesn't want to. They don't want to change who they are. They're not capable of it. They're not going to get on their knees and pray to God and repent and ask forgiveness. They're not going to call you up or me up and say, you know what? I've thought about this. I really did you wrong. I did you so, so dirty. I'm so sorry. I'm seeking counseling. I'm going to church. I'm praying. God has God is working in me, but I've got a long way to go. I know that. I'm not asking you back into your life, back into my life. I'm not asking for that again. I know I burned that bridge. I just want to tell you I'm so sorry. You were the best thing that I ever had. You were amazing. You did everything to try to help me in my life. You were sent from God to help me, and I blew you away. I blew you off. I blew God off. I rejected your help. I rejected God's help in the present, the gift that He sent into my life. You were that, and I just want to tell you that. We dreamed of hearing it, didn't we? How many times did you dream of hearing something like that? Even after the relationship was over. I remember I would say that to those who I was really close to, that I could sort of confess and ask for help or confide in. And I would say, I'm not saying never. I'm not saying I'd never be with her again. That she could change. There could be things. And they would say, Brian, why are you leaving that door open? You're leaving it open. I wanted the person to change so badly. So did you. And we tell ourselves, well, God can do it. And if God can change them, then darn it, I'm going to be right there. I'm going to be instrumental in it. I don't care if it takes 15 years to see some change. We'll settle for anything. And all the while, what I'm trying to tell you is very simple. Their personality and their character and characteristics is baked into who they are. You can no sooner extract their bad behavior and their maliciousness and their cruelty and how mean spirited they are. You can no sooner extract any of those things as you can go into a cake and extract the salt or the flour or the butter or anything else. You can't do it. And we didn't even talk about the icing because that's a whole different thing. Because you can apply these to the actions that they undertake too. Their gaslighting, it's built into them. Their triangulation, they've customized it over the course of years. It's built into who they are. It's baked in. Their cheating behavior and their mentality, their flirtatiousness, their cruelty. Maybe I said that already. Their desire to belittle and degrade and be condescending and cruel. It's guys, it's who they are. That's why I keep saying they're reprobates. Most of them are. If they have gotten to this point, I want to make this simple. If they have gotten to a point where you have been on these channels and you've done research and you know, and you can safely say in your mind and in your heart and your conscience, yeah, the person I was dealing with is they check all or most of the boxes. They are very clearly a narcissist. If you can say that, they're gone. But Brian, God can. Guys, how often do they change? I've told you before, many of you guys are aware of Dr. Romani. I bring her up because she's counseled so many and she's done so much work in this. Not per se from a spiritual perspective, but she'll tell you the same thing. I am yet in all my life to see a single narcissist fully change and be transformed. What they do is maybe they can manage their behavior a little bit, make some small, very small improvements. And the reason she cites is the same thing I'm telling you. It's their personality. It's a personality style. It's baked. Their behavior, characteristics, attributes are baked into them. You're not getting it out. Maybe this can provide some of you guys some reassurance. If you're in a relationship with the narcissist right now, I'm going to speak to two people, two groups. If you're in the relationship right now and you're thinking to yourself, I got to stay in this. I know they can change. I know it. I haven't seen it. It's been maybe months or years, but I got to believe. I'm married. I take my vows seriously. I understand all that. But I just know I can wear them down. God's going to perform a mighty miracle in their lives at some point. He's going to poof and it's going to click, and I'm going to get the person I need. If you're hanging on to that hope, that that's going to happen or that God's going to change the narcissist, it's it's in vain. You are flat wasting your time. I'm telling you, if you think it's ever going to be different, because they breadcrumb us and they show little signs and indications, but that's part of the Satan's treachery, guys. That's part of what keeps you hanging on. They know when to toss you little nuggets and have some good days or good times. They know when you're pulling away. They know when they need to show you some affection, when they need to, or they need to say they're going to get it right, or they're going to go to counseling, or they're working on themselves so hard. I've worked so hard on myself. I've heard that. They do those things to keep you in the game. The breadcrumbing keeps you there. Don't fall for it. You will know people by their fruits, and they are rotten. They produce nothing but rotten fruit with the promise of something better. If you're hanging on to a relationship right now because you think that they're going to improve at some point, it's all the wrong reasons. It's not going to happen. If you're entangled with them for some other reason, I know not every single situation is a thing you can just break away from. I get it. But if your specific hope is they'll change, guys, stop. It's baked in. If you think they can change, every time you think that narcissist is going to change, go and bake yourself a cake and then try to get the ingredients back out of it. And then remember, that's the narcissist. It's not a question of time or effort or divine intervention. They don't want it. It's not going to happen. They are exactly who they are, and that is that. 99.99999% of the time. Second thing I want to say is if you're post relationship and you're ever thinking to yourself, did I stay long enough? Did I try hard enough? I should have done this. I should have done that. What if I hadn't made any mistakes? What if I had been more empathetic, loving, kind, caring? We prayed more. I prayed for them more. Whatever it is, that's a waste of time too. Because I assure you, you weren't going to change that narcissist, no matter how much you gave and how long you gave. You're not getting the flour out of the cake. So I hope this is of comfort to you guys. And it's an analogy that will hopefully stick with you. Every time you think to yourself, I could have done more, or I can do more, or something can change, remember the cake. Bake yourself a cake, I'm serious, if you need to. And then try to go in there with tweezers, a magnifying glass, a microscope if you have it, and try to get the ingredients back out of it. And then remember and remind yourself, this is like trying to change the narcissist. This is like trying to get their greediness, their jealousy, their insecurity, their hatefulness, their malice. That's trying to get it out of them. It's the same thing. It is never going to happen. Their personality is baked in to who they are. So guys, I've made my point and I hope it's helpful to you. Drop comments below if it is. I love hearing from you. You guys have some awesome things to say. I'm going to leave you on that one, but just remember, getting things out of the narcissist is like getting things out of a baked cake. It's never going to happen. All right, guys, thanks for everything. I'll be at you with another one soon. Till then, God bless.